You and I have unfinished business. So yeah, definitely help me get to 100k subscribers on YouTube because good evening, book lovers of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. I am Book Nerd 802, and in this video I am going to be reviewing Kill Bill, the first movie. Now I did go and watch the whole bloody affair, volumes 1 and 2, with a friend of mine about a week ago. Shout out to him for sponsoring my trip to the theater and to watch this absolute masterpiece. I did watch the whole thing, both movies back to back, about 5 hours in the chair, and I honestly have so much to say about these movies, and instead of reviewing the whole bloody affair, I will be reviewing the movies individually. But I did write a review for all of them on Letterboxd. Feel free to take a look at the reviews, and people have asked me what my biggest regret in life is before, and I don't think I've ever had a proper answer, but now after having watched this movie, or both movies rather, the ones by Quentin Tarantino, I certainly do. And not having watched this sooner is certainly one of my biggest regrets in life, and it was released the year I was born in 2003, and honestly, were it up to me, I would have watched it the second I left the womb. And once again, I would like to thank my friend. I'm not sure if I should mention his name or censor it like they did with Beatrix Kiddo's name in the movie, since he might not be comfortable with mentioning the name. But thank you for sponsoring my trip to the cinema to watch this movie, and I'm really grateful for the invitation as well. So yeah, you know who you are anyway. The music in general sent shivers down my spine, and Uma Thurman is a fascinating actress, and people weren't joking about Tarantino and his love for feet. And one thing I want to add about Uma Thurman is how come the woman never seems to age? I saw her a couple of days ago in a video speaking about this movie since it is finally being brought back to life, and she looks exactly the same. What is she doing, honestly? It's extremely impressive, and there are so many iconic moments in these movies, some of them pertaining to memes and vines as well, and TikToks nowadays, and I especially enjoyed how it's split into chapters. My first impression was, is this a book? Was the movie based on a book? But apparently it isn't. I don't think there is a book upon which the movies are based. I'm not quite sure. Let me know in the chat or the comment section if you know any better than I do. I now have a newfound love for the colors black and yellow, by the way. And this, to put all of it in a nutshell, it's basically John Wick meets Jackie Chan for women, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. It's something which I firmly believe and I think it's absolutely valid. So feel free to disagree or to let me know whether you do agree in the comment section. And as I mentioned, I want to review these movies individually since there is plenty to say. And it quickly became one of my favorites, especially because of all the sound effects and how all the moves seem to be so exaggerated. That might have been a bit of a turn off at some stages, but otherwise it was all very entertaining. The blood was absolutely fascinating to see as well, and yeah, it's all part of the fun, and it's definitely an incredible revenge story. Both movies, when I watched them back to back, I gave them a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and now I will start by speaking about the first volume independently from the second one, and there will be a couple of spoilers ahead. So if you haven't watched this one, honestly, then that's on you. You have to take the blame entirely, and I am really saddened by the fact that I did not watch it sooner because it's an absolute masterpiece. Now, this one I absolutely liked. Volume 1 I gave 5 stars, and I was on the edge of my seat for about 95% of the movie, and my friend really enjoyed the movie as well. He'd never seen it before, and he was equally as fascinated as I was, especially when the Fortnite segment showed up. I think he enjoyed that part the most. And yeah, he's not retarded, by the way. He's a pretty clever guy. And yeah, there are so many iconic characters in this movie, and the way the revenge is executed is brilliant. And I suppose I also enjoyed the animated segment where we were introduced to Beatrix's Asian enemy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is her name Oren Ishii? I think that's her name. She had to attack about a billion people with her swords, and why wouldn't you take a gun with you in such a situation and such a context? I mean, she should have known what would happen anyway. Um, I'm not quite sure as to why her name was censored towards the beginning, and I am now speaking, of course, about Beatrix Kiddo. Her name was blacked out, and I started to think that her name might actually be the N word for some reason, but that did not turn out to be the case. And come to think of it, I suppose it was hidden from the audience because she was later buried alive in another person's grave under a different name, so they did not want to give that away. Perhaps some sort of foreshadowing, I guess, so as not to spoil anything. Although I am not quite certain about the chronology either, to be totally honest, and just to give you a brief summary of the movie, perhaps you'll want to watch it. The movie is basically about a woman and Bill. The movie is called Kill Bill because that is what ultimately happens. Bill dies, and Bill loved this woman until she decided to get married to another man while pregnant with Bill's child. And honestly, being a big fan of Bill Cipher, I didn't think I would really enjoy a movie called Kill Bill because I am totally against that idea. And I still don't think Bill deserved to die after all that happened. But yeah, basically because of all this pregnancy thing and getting married to another man, Bill sends his henchmen to kill her, and everyone else at the wedding rehearsal, but they are unsuccessful. They do manage to kill everyone else, but Beatrix herself survives, and 4 years later, the same woman tracks them all down and eliminates them, thinking that she lost her baby whilst in a comatose state. And I will not ignore the fact that the first woman who was shown in the movie and was killed by Beatrix was the black woman. It's a very diverse movie, but honestly, she kind of deserved to die, especially since she had cereal and she planned on giving that to her child after school. When I saw that happening, I immediately knew something was off because why would you give cereal to your child after school? And as it turned out, she was keeping a gun in that cereal box. So what happened to her was completely justified as well. Um, Not that there's anything wrong with cereal after school, but it did not quite track logically, and I was honestly quite shocked and surprised to see how quickly Uma Thurman just killed the woman and how easily it was for her to do. Then there was also the pussy wagon part, which is absolutely iconic. I might get myself a keychain of that eventually, which that segment of the movie is extremely sad and hilarious at the same time. It's made hilarious by the fact that the revenge is done so neatly, so properly. And one thing I would like to add is that for my Maltese audience, Eileen Montezine would have made a great Beatrix Kiddo character, and I'll go to my grave with that opinion unaltered, but feel free to let me know your thoughts about my opinion in the chat, and I would love to listen to what you have to say in that regard. And Uma Thurman is a great actress, as I mentioned towards the start of the video, and despite the serious nature of the movie, there is plenty of comic relief too. It feels as though Tarantino knows that when something's so serious, there has to be something comical to kind of balance that out, especially when there are so many female protagonists, so many strong, independent women involved as well. And I enjoyed how her Asian enemy's head got sliced open like the top of a cracked boiled egg. That was a neat part, and there were many moments in this movie where I thought, I know of this, I've seen it somewhere before, and then it finally clicked where, and I can now finally understand the references fully, especially the whole whistling part. Um, the woman with the eye patch, honestly. Um, L driver, that was fascinating. I will attempt to do the whistle part later on today because I've been practicing. Um, but yeah, that still haunts me honestly. Even though it's been a week since I watched the movie, I still think about that whistling segment very often. And way too many limbs were chopped off during the Asian section, let's call it that, I suppose, where she has to kill or defeat so many people. And yeah, I'm also confused as to why certain characters wouldn't take guns to sword fights. I mean, isn't that the logical thing to do? If you have a knife fight, take a gun with you, put yourself at an advantage, especially if your life is at risk, there's no way really proving your worth, even though you have a Hanzo Hattori sword. You can definitely not put your life at risk, I suppose. Are you that determined to show your skills that you'd put your life on the line and fight with knives or swords rather than use a gun? But anyway, that's not for me to decide. And I can appreciate the value of a Hanzo sword, but at the same time, guns are of course way more efficient, especially when they're so accessible in this world. It's not as though guns do not exist. I will probably do the whistling part during the introduction of my review of Part 2, Kill Volume 2. So if you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. I think that is all I had to say about Volume 1. Let me know if any other moments in the movie struck you. Yeah, but you know what you have to do? It's all free. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.